Hey guys, you're watching carbuyer.com.sg. I'm Derryn Wong, and we tell you everything you need to know about driving, owning and buying a car in Singapore. Now Singapore is slowly but surely coming out from under the lockdown, and that means you're going to have to get to grips with being behind the wheel of a car again. And that's the entire point of today's video, getting you behind the wheel safely and smoothly once again. Luckily, to help us, we have a very special guest today. It's racing driver, supermum and fitness fanatic Claire Jedrek here to help us. Hey Claire.
Hey Derryn, how are you? How's the circuit breaker been for you?
It's been really boring. I'm staying at home the entire time. I'm really sure that my skills are totally gone to hell.
Well, I tell you what, I think there's a lot of the times we don't realize it, that like when we don't have all that exposure when we're going driving, we actually forget some of these skill sets. So it's important that we get a good reminder.
Yeah, and to talk about safety and all that, I heard you had a little incident yourself.
I did, really unfortunately. So, these things are happening, like the bad driving. I was actually cycling very early in the morning, and then a car pulled out in front of me and turned to the left and cut me off all of a sudden. I think it was a bad decision on a very empty road, and unfortunately I had nowhere to brake, and I crashed into her. Yeah, and that was solely based on decision.
Okay? Yeah, you're totally fine.
No, nothing broken, but it's taken me about 3 or 4 weeks to be on the mend. But yeah, even for me, it's been a good cautionary measure on my own driving skill set.
So it seems like everybody could use some solid advice on how to drive again safely. So we're going to cut to you at home with your personal ride, the Skoda Kodiaq. So take it away from there, Claire.
Thanks, Derryn. Okay, so to prepare yourself, we've got 3 A's. Now, the first step to getting back to driving safely is about acceptance. Accepting that you've probably become a little bit out of practice. Now, some of you are thinking, but it's only been about 2 months, so what's the big deal? But you know what? It's not about the ability to drive, it's about the ability to drive safely and at the same level. Some of you have been driving just to get your essentials back and forth. Now, psychologists say that forming habits takes about 18 days. Now, that's more than enough time for you to get used to doing things slowly and develop bad habits. Bad habits like not signaling when you turn. Now, having spent some time behind the wheel myself of racing cars and staying fit, it's pretty obvious that if you're not getting enough seat time, you're simply not going to be performing at your best. Okay, so accept the amount of driving practice. What am I going to do about it? Well, here comes the second A, acceleration. I want you to stay away from that. What you don't want to be is in a rush and give yourself a sensory overload. But like I said at the start, our habits have been totally disrupted by the COVID-19, and everyone has had to change their habits, the way they live, and that really extends to the road as well. So you can't assume that other road users are going to behave the way they did before, and I'm talking about pedestrians, cyclists, drivers, and as a result you have to be extra careful, extra conscious, and just be patient and cooperative when you're back on the road. Of course, it really helps as well if your car can help you too. Now, the Skoda Kodiaq has a very high seating position, so I've got great visibility, I can see all my peripherals, as well as side assist with rear traffic alert, which means that it can help me with my blind spots, and it's got a reverse camera too.
So to sum up the 3 A's once again, number 1, accept that you will be less skilled than before. Number 2, the accelerator, please try and stay off it if you can. Number 3, don't assume other people know what they're doing or will behave the same way as before the circuit breaker. But after weeks and weeks of Zoom meetings, hermitage and doing nothing, I have 3 A's of my own.
Wait, you've got your own set of 3 A's?
Yeah, they're really good and really negative. Absolutely, assuredly, I will be terrible at driving, and nobody should assume I know what I'm doing.
I'm just going to say that I actually probably agree with you.
Right, well, thanks for the vote of confidence, Claire. You know what, I'm going to tell people that Claire Jedrek, the racing driver, told me to drive like a total grandma.
I think people would just think that you ran out of talent.
Okay, I'll try and take that one on the chin. But thanks again, Claire. Those are really useful tips for everybody to keep in mind when getting back on the road. Now, if you want to find out more about Claire, follow her on Instagram at Claire Jedrek. If you want to find out more about the Skoda Kodiaq, log on to www.skoda.com.sg. If you want to find out more car news, reviews, and advice in Singapore, check out carbuyer.com.sg. Thanks for watching, guys.